Welcome to the Flat Earth Debate, Uncut and After Show. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they premiere, and there's also a Ko-Fi, Patreon, crypto and thanks button in the info box below the video. Speaking of Patreons, I'm going to do a quick shout out to all of you who do support me on Patreon. So, a massive shout of thanks and appreciation to Chris Wouters, Mr. Amish, Naughty Thumbnails, Mitch Kennedy, Rod, The Name's Burley, Twad Wazzle, Jason Hornsby, Christoph Fournier, Flat Earth Travolta, JMails24, Unamento, M, I'm 26, Eric Troche, Endless, Golden McKiernan, Retro Bill, Level Plain Poem, Canna Bear, Michael Kahn, John Kays, Patrick Gunnels, Banter, Mel B. Styles, Hairy Blade, Mobile Max 777, Rob W. Reese Pound, Del West Watson, Unbelievable Productions, Blue Ridge Ranger, Abraham Mohammed, Skeptic 936, Life is Short, Texas Mike, David Wayne Foster, and Dank. So another massive thank you to all of you for supporting me on Patreon. Now I will hand over to whoever is in Discord and Google so you can enjoy their dulcet tones while I set up for today's live show.
They make no money at all. Well, that's what they say. But that's what they're constantly on about that.
Who?
Like Pete Corielli and Sebastian Maniscalco. They're comedians.
Okay.
You never heard of Sebastian?
No.
He's the Italian guy from Chicago. He does a lot of physical comedy.
I'm sorry, Neil. I've never heard of him. I'm really sorry.
You gotta get it. It's good. He's good. He's got a few. He's been now he's on like I wouldn't say decline of his career, but he was selling out arenas and stuff at one point.
Okay.
When you get a chance, you Google him because he's good. The Pete and Sebastian show. And they talk about just the freaking everyday things that people do that drive them crazy. You know? Like being a guy at the red light when it turns green, you're freaking still sitting there.
Yeah, it sounds like standard comedy fare to me, but fine.
Yeah, but they've been talking about how they've been forgetting, like walk into a room and they don't even know why they're in there.
Okay. Oh, like
That
I just
happened to
did.
me
Sorry.
yesterday.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yesterday I walked into a room and I didn't know what I went in there for, but I specifically went in there for something. So I had to backtrack.
You broke up.
And it was to get a roll of paper towels. Now, how did I forget that from the time I was in the kitchen to when I started walking only 2 rooms away? How's that possible?
Very easily.
My kids may have to take me out sooner than I think.
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
What's good, Nathan?
Again?
Said, what's good, bro? What's the plan for today?
Make you guys do all the work because I'm really ill.
All right. Good morning, Steve. Steve, we're running the show today, bro. Nathan's taking
is that
a
my
break.
man Steve in there?
Morning, you guys. I ain't running no show.
You don't have to run anything. You just have to chat. That's all. I'm just a bit fuzzy-headed. That's all. I've got a high temperature and I'm just not very well.
Shit.
All right. I'll do what I can.
Sorry, you're not feeling well, bro.
That's called dedication. Did you hear what Nathan said? I'm running a high temperature, but yet the link went out and he's ready to roll. That's dedication.
Yeah, it's also that I've got bills to pay. So I want to pay my mortgage.
Oh, that's what I wanted to tell you. That's what I wanted to tell you, Nathan. That's why people don't know what they're talking about, and they want to talk shit, and they have no. Sorry, excuse the language. They want to talk crap. I seen in somebody's chat this guy saying, "Yeah, Nathan was bleeding his Patreons and people that support him for money, claiming that he needed a heating system in his rented place." Now, I thought it was rented too, and then you explained to me, no, I got a mortgage. So then I realized you have what's called a condo in America, where it's an apartment,
Yeah,
but you pay a mortgage on it.
right. That's what I figured out too, I think.
That's two things that are inaccurate. The first you've already covered, which is that yes, I do own this place and have done for about 25 years, or had a mortgage for that long, which is nowhere near paid off. Anyway, that's the first thing. The second thing is I didn't actually, strictly speaking, run a campaign or try and bleed anybody dry. I explained my circumstances as they were happening and said, if anybody does want to help, feel free, this would be a good time. That was about as much as I said. And I said, if it comes to it, I may run a GoFundMe campaign, which I didn't. Didn't have to.
And that's how I answered them in chat. And I said, why are you being jealous? Because he didn't have to do that. They saw the need and they helped them out. But to straighten you out, it's not a rented place, so he is responsible for it. So when something does break down, he has to pay for it. But they want to put misinformation out there. That's what it's all about.
Sure, I've seen million subscriber YouTubers have their house burned down and then do GoFundMe campaigns when they're earning an absolute shed ton. So me, when I've been screwed out of about, I don't know, $400 or $500, maybe a bit less from a rogue trader, that's something that you can share with an audience if you've got one. It's one of the privileges I have, and I don't take it lightly. I don't take it lightly. I mean, I'm eternally grateful that the people... I had it the other day. I think it might have been Mush. I was similar thing. I was like, well, keep the conversation going and, chit chat so my audience is kept happy, etc. And Mush, I think it was you, it might have been someone else, said, well, actually, we want to hear you waffling on. You didn't say it in such a derogatory term, quite the opposite. You were quite complimentary, but self-deprecation and all. But I was a bit taken back. I told my wife about it last night. I was like, yeah, as strange as it may sound, yeah, people do come to your channel to watch you. But obviously, you don't think about it in those terms, do you? Or at least I didn't until... I think it was you, Mush. Was it you?
Yes, it was Mush.
Yes, sir.
That really knocked me for six. Because you just don't think of it in those terms.
Well, he's telling the truth. He comes to listen to you. So do I. I mean, I enjoy everybody's input. I learn a lot from Brian, Adam, but we come to hear you. That's the main thing. And sometimes when you're not there, we try to do it a few times. Just get together on Skype. But if Nathan Oakley's not there, it's not the same.
Well,
Well,
I'm
it's not
touched.
only that. Like you never lied about anything, dude. You know what I mean? That's the most important thing to me. And if this is your job, you do your job on YouTube. Like, what's wrong with asking for money? People who can give will give. People who can't won't give.
On a similar subject, I mean, I like watching true crime videos. And one true crime video about a YouTube videographer in Russia was doing these, what they call trash streams. You ever heard of these? Trash streams? Basically,
I haven't, no.
it's a stream where they just sit around getting shit-faced. That's basically it. But within that format, it opens up for people to give donations to be abusive to the people in the party, if you will. And some people made a career off this. I'm not going to go into the gruesome details of some of the events that have taken place as a result of this. Well, I'll give you one example. Let's just think how I can phrase this without getting demonetized. A Russian YouTuber, basically, after getting $1,000 donation to be nasty to his girlfriend, let's just say, yeah, proceeded to be nasty to her in a physical way, and then lock her outside, half naked, covered in water. Now, this girl died as a result of that. and he was on stream taking donations after he'd done it. Now, that guy got, for
What?
involuntary manslaughter, I think he got 4 or maybe 6 years for it. And when I heard the sentence, I was like, that's nowhere near enough for what this guy did. But these
Should have got
people,
life.
well, the point I'm trying to make is that people will ask for money for all sorts of things, and people will give it them. Yeah? Now, what Mush just said was to say, well, you've got a noble cause and you're not lying about anything. You're being very open, therefore people can choose whether or not they want to support you or not. And that's absolutely correct. But regardless, there's people who are out there that ask for donations for things that are very much not just causes. They're not good people. And people still, I'm not saying, well, therefore I'm just, therefore I deserve it. Although, kind of I am.
No, but that's sick.
Well, it's
I
not
mean,
just that. You know,
look
what
at
gets me
look at
even
what
more
you're
about,
saying.
like that. I'm sorry, Neil. What I hate the most, bro, is that I'm not gonna say any names, but there's people literally on our side that are going to different servers and saying that you bullshitting. Does anybody really believe that he lost electricity and shit like that?
I did a video of me in the dark with
That's
the
what I was
kids.
just telling him.
No,
Right.
I know, bro. That's not even a question, bro. Like the fact that they can even question it, you know. And these are the people from our side.
To be fair, most of those were to members only. And I'll tell you why. Because I don't want to share that particular type of pain with the general public. I want to share it with
Yeah.
sympathetic members only. So when you
Yep.
see me covered in spots and acne, unshaven because I haven't had hot water for a week, looking like death, and telling you how I stink, that sort of thing isn't worthy of sharing with the public, as far as I am concerned. Now, by that token, the public goes, nah, it's just lying. No, believe me, when we were in absolute desperate, cold, dark flat, and the electricity downstairs physically exploded when the night rate came on, it all went bang, everything shut off, and suddenly we were calling this cowboy to come out at 1:30 in the morning with absolutely everything broken. Now, fortunately for me, right, I've got a reasonable understanding of how electrics work and could see, having a really good, not poke around, but a look at what he'd done, I suspected he'd done what he did, and therefore went around unplugging absolutely every single electrical device from the circuit. Literally everything was unplugged. And the reason? Because if it was to send a massive surge through the main circuitry, it would take out half my electronics. So including the fridge, which tells you how serious it was. And when it did go bang and took out the main fuse to the building, not to my apartment, to the building, yeah, obviously a major problem, because suddenly you're into calling out the electricity company. So my wife's onto the phone to the electricity company because the building's got no power, because this idiot had wired up a completely separate power circuit into an existing circuit. So when it came on at midnight, it all went bang. Now, you can turn around and go, you're just making it up. No, I'm not.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to live through that. It was absolutely horrific. It was an absolute nightmare. Now, while I'm saying to my audience, when I've got a big smile, I'm a videographer, right? Yeah, I've got to put on a certain amount of front. So while I'm smiling and going, wow, this is really awful, it's written all over my face that the smile's surface deep. And any of my members recognise that immediately. The public don't. They just want to find a reason to ridicule me. It's like, back in the day, we had people like Reg Rhetoric and Steve McClown and all the other ones doing endless GoFundMes for people's funerals, moving houses, you name it, they did GoFundMes for it. Now, in some instances, you might say they were worthy causes, but they were earning 40, 50, 60 grand a year from GoFundMes. Now, there was some argy-bargy about whether or not the money actually made it to the right places, but the point is that people will run GoFundMes because somebody needs to move house over on the ball side. And nobody raises an eyebrow.
Well, that's what bothered me about that. And sitting in Arwen's chat, he's saying that almost saying that you started listening to the trolls, and that's how this whole thing jumped off. But meanwhile, he's listening to the trolls because I didn't see him straighten that guy out and say, hold on, Steve Bronson, that's not what happened. Nathan lost his power. And don't be saying that stuff in my chat. Just went unchecked. And then they try to come in your chat. So they're playing both ends here. And I don't like that.
Still got the old fuse board. So I kept it because that was something else I put out on a community post. I contacted Trading Standards. So based on what it wasn't one, it was about 4 electricians told me when they came and had a proper professional look at it, beyond my suspicion that it would go bang, and did. They had a poke around and a proper professional look. And one of the questions I asked after they had a look was, will this last the night? And the guy looked at me and went, probably not. I was like, oh, really? And he said they got the electrician that actually did the work said it was a fire hazard. I'm like, okay. So next man or woman, because he's been acquired through a mum's group, could end up with a fire. So I'm like, And then I think it was Brian that sort of said, no, you really do need to report this guy. And at the time, I couldn't do it. I was just too busy getting my own electric sorted out and sorting out the mess he'd left us with. But after, when it was all sorted, or 90% sorted, it still is, because they did this as an emergency. So some of the finishing off bits they haven't done. There's one heater to be fitted in the bathroom, and a couple of other bits trunking that needs capping on it and things like that. But just minor things. But they did it within 24 hours. They came out and were like, this is so dangerous, we're going to have to reschedule everything to get you in immediately so we can do it tomorrow. And they did. Within 24 hours, it was completely rewired with 2 bods working non-stop from 9 a.m. till about 6 p.m. So you're like, people can think what they like. Anyway, yes, that was what I was saying. Sorry, I went a bit fuzzy there. I contacted Trading Standards. So the way you get in touch with Trading Standards here in the UK is you get in touch via this organisation called Citizens Advice. And I think they just had, previously you just got in touch with Trading Standards, but that wasn't the methodology, as I found out from researching, that you have to do it. You have to go via Citizens Advice. So I did. I went to Citizens Advice, explained the situation. They contacted me back, went over a few more details, and said they would send it on to Trading Standards. That's where it's been left. They gave me a reference number. That's it. In the meantime, I've still got his old fuse board that wasn't appropriate. I've still got it in a box. And the last communication with him was, come and get your fuse board that wasn't appropriate. Give us our money back. His response, oh, I'm having a baby. Oh, I can't deal with this now. That was his response. So at some point, we've either got to, I don't know, keep hold of this stupid old fuse box that wasn't appropriate indefinitely, or sell it for 60 quid.
Yeah, I think you got to chalk that up as a loss and see what you can get for it, because he doesn't seem like he's a stand-up guy.
I think he had it hanging around. I think he just had this fuse board that's about 5 years in technology terms out of date. He just had it in a garage or something. Probably. I don't know. I'm guessing. Right. Now I feel totally exhausted and drained. I think we should start the show an hour early. What do you guys think?
Agreed.
Wait, how is it an hour early? It's almost 9 o'clock. I mean, I know you guys are behind, but
Yeah, we're behind an hour.
okay.
We might not. I'll see how I feel as I just start coffee mullings up.
Good morning, Righteous.
Good morning.
Righteous is getting the coffee too.
Getting up. Yeah, that's on the way.
Literally just rolled out of bed.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Trolls will be trolls. Water off a duck's back to me, Neil. As much as you want Arwin to correct people, how would he know? Arwin, that is.
Did you guys hear from Arvin in the last few days?
No.
No.
He came into one of the shows and I stripped him of his wrench. That was the last communication I had with him.
Why? What happened now?
I think as far as I'm aware.
No. He allows them to just say what they want. And he claims that the chat is shit now, or crap now. Excuse my language. But that you're allowing anything to go. Everybody that wants to talk about Halloween can go on his chat, and Nathan just allows it. That's not true. I'm in the chat.
Plenty of moderators. People do want to talk about him as a personality. People talk about me in other people's chats. There's nothing you can do about it if you're a personality. Arwen's a personality, therefore people are going to talk about him.
Exactly, but I mean, we don't allow them to just say whatever they want. Even yesterday, I said that's enough. I mean, just everybody coming in and saying what they want to say. That's exactly what he's saying is going on. So don't feed it. Don't give it ammunition. We know what happened, and that's it. Leave it.
Yeah, same in QE's stream. I was in his chat and people started bashing Arwen. I told them to stop. But it wouldn't necessarily matter if it was someone else. It didn't have to be Arwen. They just happened to be bashing Arwen. And I stopped them. Or asked politely if they could refrain from doing so. And then, yeah, you get a couple of chat commenters that go, oh, I was only doing it because of X, Y, and Z. And then another one will go, oh, it was only because of this. I'll stop now. You're like, fine. At some point, one of the mods has got to point out, no, you shouldn't be bashing people. It's just not appropriate.
I mean, I wish on internet that everybody had to use their real name and there were consequences for what you say.
Well, there are.
It would be a lot cleaner place.
Well, there are. There's plenty of digital laws in place. But that's potentially what you're saying, right?
Well,
That's why people use a fake name. It's harder to track them down when they do that.
Well, that Jamie C level was in your chat yesterday, Nathan. And
Where, in Discord, Neil?
I think
that's right. It's coming out of own.
I think he means YouTube chat.
Oh.
The live stream chat, I think.
Yes, on the show you put up yesterday. What was it? The one when we left Earth Awakenings, and we had the little meeting when Adam played that video
Yeah, I hacked out most of
from.
it. I went in
How'd
after
you
the
think
fact
that
and
show
just
was?
edited it. I just hacked it all out of the video.
He was in the chat.
Well, he'd have probably noticed that I hacked out the majority of his work, which, as I understand it, got removed from YouTube. Rightly so.
You didn't hack out my part.
No, I left your part and a couple of other bits, just to give the general gist of what was in the video.
Well, he was in the chat yesterday, trying to explain. I guess because I don't know. I don't know when Adam's taking it. I don't understand what he's talking about, to be honest.
I mean, when
If
he says,
Arwen's saying these things, well, Arwen's saying these things and he's putting the things out that Arwen's saying. And he's saying, this is the way I felt. He was left unchecked for many years, just saying what he wants to say. That whole thing with Paula, he never, ever, ever apologized to Paula. And it's the same stuff going on with Michael Kahn and them, constantly calling her a liar. I recently tried to get in touch with them and say, hey, listen, let's get together and have a conversation. But they started right out with she's a liar again. So that's dead to me. It's over. But back to that, he was left unchallenged, and it annoyed a lot of people. It annoyed me when he made that video about you saying the things he said. I know you don't even know half the things he said because you never watched it, but it annoyed me, and it annoyed other people. And apparently, that's what Jamie's saying.
with a strong focus on Arwen talking about homosexuality.
But he says these things. He says I have more, and this and that and the other thing. I don't know. You see into it what you want to see into it. I think he's a guy that just had enough of the nonsense. But fair enough. Arwen can talk about whatever he wants to talk. Show. It's his show.
And Jamie can focus on whichever aspects of what Arwen talks about that he wants to focus on, I guess.
Oh, he focused in on the Indian comment. I think he stood true to what the whole issue was there.
What's all that about? Why has he got something against Indians?
I was watching that show when it happened live, and the guy said to him, Owen, you're making fun of Indians, and I find that offensive.
Well, he's Indian,
And
isn't he?
Owen tried
It's
to
his
just,
turret.
yeah,
Yeah, he's Indian.
right. But he was saying, I'm not making fun of them, I'm just doing the accent.
Uh,
So, I don't know.
okay. I mean, there's a line. If you're doing it for comedy value, then you have to. Number one, it has to be funny, and if people don't take it as being a joke, then it's going to be taken as being offensive or racist. You know, it's like me saying I'm black. Most people would take that to be what it is, an absurd statement for a laugh. But, you know, I did obviously, having listened to Jamie Sea Level's video, hear what Arwin said in that regard. And I don't know. That didn't sound like it was a joke.
Well, it escalated. The more Terrett was telling him, no, you're insulting me because you're mocking the way I talk. It's not funny, and I'm asking you to stop. And he continued doing it. So, telling me to turn.
Yeah. Oh well. Hopefully Terra has divorced himself from that situation now.
It's 9 o'clock, 9:01.
I don't know. Should we start at the normal time, UK time, or do you want to start now?
We can start now if you want.
Okay.
It's your call, man.
I don't even want to be working really. I've got to be honest.
Good morning,
How
fellas.
are you?
Good morning.
Awful.
Good
I feel
morning.
terrible. I'm very ill. Thank you for asking. Well enough to sit in this chair where I'm very comfy and do the show an hour early. So for our American audience, this is the usual time. Your clocks have now changed, as of not. So strictly for a UK audience, this is an hour early, which I don't think is too much detriment because I don't know how much energy I've got to keep this show going because I'm very poorly. But there we go. So that aside, we will still do a couple of housekeeping questions, hopefully get people in the mood. Any evidence of the distance to the sun?
Any evidence of what the sun is?
I'll settle for a distance that doesn't take a flat earth to measure in the first instance to infer it. No distances to the sun? Shocking. Any evidence of a self-perpetuating molten iron core at the centre of a presupposed spherical earth?
Well, they have that Earth sonogram thing.
P waves and S waves.
Yeah.
You need a flat plane for the
Maybe that-
return signal.
Oh, dear. That's right.
All roads lead to a flat earth. Okay, so we've got a little... I don't know why they're in funny colours, but Brian's decided to do a few more comments. They're actually community posts, but for the ballers. So I'm going to read out his most recent one. For the ballers? Question mark. I don't know why he puts these question marks in. He's got a thing with putting question marks where they don't necessarily belong. Using claimed spherical trigonometry and an allowed radius of 3959, please solve for the following triangle without using actual trigonometry and without changing the length of sides or given angle. So the angle and side lengths must stay equal and unchanged, question mark. The angle and side lengths can be placed in any orientation desired. Angle 45 degrees, side A 6,000, side B 8,000. Please leave your answers in the comments section. Thank you. PS, in reality, using actual trigonometry, and then he gives the answer. I thought I'd put that out. If you want to respond to it, if you're a baller, you need to go over to Brian's Logics channel, and he is there as a community post, along with the one that we were dealing with in ELO from yesterday. So Brian's all over it, man. If they're going to be putting out challenges, I think that's This is the sort of vibe that he's going for. All right, you guys can put out these crazy challenges and then mock us when we point out that you need a flat Earth for them. Well, Brian can put out challenges too, involving your nonsensical spherical triangles.
Well, Nathan, there's a guy that comes into your chat. Actually, he goes on Discord. His name is Bacon. He was saying something yesterday that he has 3 points. I couldn't really hear him because I was driving, but I was kind of getting what he was saying. And he's saying at these 3 location points, it doesn't work out on a flat Earth. It only works out on a sphere because it doesn't equal 180 degrees. So if he's in there, is Bacon there in Discord? I'd like him to come on and explain himself.
We can, but the measurement of
he's
the
here,
angles
but
come from the equatorial plane and are transposed up onto a sphere, aren't they? So when you've got these inferred angles through the protractor that they call the globe Earth, the measurement of those angles still comes from the equatorial plane in hell. So you can infer these spherical triangles at the surface. Hopefully the diagram that we've got that shows this will come up before he comes in and starts to discuss this with us. But no, you still need a flat Earth for the angles.
Yeah, he's not
Neil.
denying that.
Oh, he's not denying
Neil,
that you need to measure a flat Earth first, then who cares?
not only that he's not denying, but he conceded, Nathan, at your last AMA at the Earth Awakenings. He's the guy. Actually, he's in a chill lounge right now, right below the VC. He's the guy that actually said Earth is measured flat. I'm a flat earther now, and we made a sound clip of him in the soundboard.
Right.
That's
He's
the
in-
guy.
Yeah, but
in
with that, he's also saying it doesn't work. The measurements, the coordinates he has, does not work on a flat Earth. So I want to hear what he's got to say.
The coordinates,
No,
as
he
in...
said he measures after he measures it flat.
Yeah,
Then after
exactly,
he's
Mush.
put it on. I'm sorry.
No,
Go ahead,
I'm stepping on you while you're saying the conclusion. Go ahead.
No, he said he conceded that he measures flat. Then after the measurements, when he puts it on a paper, tries to explain it through the Haversine formula, it doesn't work on a flat. It works on a globe.
But by Haversine
That's
Oh,
his
who
formula...
explain.
cares?
Yeah, by Haversine formula, you mean converting to spherical.
Yes.
Why would you need to do that if it's already spherical?
That's a great question.
If that's what he's saying, who cares? I didn't hear him saying that
Yeah,
yesterday.
That's what
But
I'm
the way
saying,
you
'cause he
broke
already
it down,
conceded, man.
it's measured flat.
Yep.
And they have to
He
admit it.
conceded that, and we have a sound clip of him on the soundboard.
Go on then, let's hear it.
You want to hear it?
Yeah.
Wait,
Um,
I'm the only one that can do it. Give me a sec.
that was it, bro.
Well, you hummed over it. Hold on a second. Let me play it again.
Can't hear it. It's too quiet.
Really? Sounds normal volume to me.
It's too quiet.
Okay.
I didn't hear it. Just say what he said. Or play it once more.
Earth is
Everyone be
measured
quiet.
flat.
Everyone, just let's hear it once more. I'll boost you. Only your line. What are you in Discord? Yes, you are. Okay, go. That was rubbish. Whatever. Well, I'm going to play...
That's
I
not
heard
a
it, dude.
concession.
Yes,
Whatever.
what are you talking about? Like, you guys don't hear it, man? Like, something's wrong with your sound. That was perfectly
All I
loud
heard
and clear.
is Earth is flat.
Okay.
All right, he's here in the chat right now. Maybe he wants to speak for himself.
Feel free. I just want to play this clip before I do, though.
In my opinion, basically to extrapolate this, yes, you are measuring the Earth flat, but the Earth is not flat. That's what we need to get at, in my opinion. Basically, to extrapolate this, yes, you are measuring the Earth flat, but the Earth is not flat. That's what we need to get at.
Yeah, that's the whole premise of their argument. As long as we can measure it flat, we can infer how it's spherical and how it doesn't work flat. Marvelous.
Yeah, that's what Bacon's saying. But maybe he's here. Maybe I missed something, and maybe Mighty Mush misrepresented him. So he has his shot right now to explain what he's trying to
Fine.
get at.
Okay, well, as it was Mighty Mush that laid it down, I won't get involved.
Oh, that's my floor?
Yes.
Right. Yeah, so if you look forward in the process of navigation, when you're trying to plot the yellow piece on a chart, you have to calculate their azimuths. You have to calculate their distances. None of those two calculations give you azimuths or distances that can be coplanar. So if you take the azimuths, for example, you get what we all know what is spherical axis. If you get the distances, and you can't fit those distances into a plane, you get non-coplanar distances. So the math that is used in navigation doesn't match the points being over same plane.
All right, the azimuth is an angle measurement from a flat Earth. It said calculated, it's not, it's measured. On a flat Earth.
Yeah, and
Sorry, I was still talking.
I
I was still talking, Bacon. You suggested it was a calculation. It isn't. It's a flat Earth measurement.
Well, in celestial navigation, you don't measure the azimuths.
Do we not?
Calculate it.
The azimuth is the angle formed between the reference direction, in this example north, and a line from the observer to the point of an interested projection on the same plane as the reference direction.
Yeah, but
What do you
when
mean,
you're
yeah,
in the middle of
but?
the ocean,
Shut
it's
up.
not
Sit
navigation.
down. Stop. No, you told us it was a calculation. It isn't. It's a bloody measurement off a flat Earth. It's off the celestial sphere that you're getting your measurement to, and it's off the plane that you're standing on that you're getting it from. Those are the two lines of the angle. It's a flat Earth proof.
What tool is
Why are you
used to
asking me
measure the
something?
azimuth
Why aren't
when
you
doing
conceding that
navigation?
you just told us it was a calculation and then told me it wasn't a measurement when it absolutely unequivocally is a flat Earth measurement? Why are you now asking me something? First, Bacon, you will concede that it is not a calculation, it's a measurement of a flat Earth. That's what you can do before we move on. And nothing's going to happen other than you accepting that it is a measurement of a flat Earth. The equatorial plane specifically.
Well, let me clarify. It can be both measured and calculated.
I
But
don't
when you're
care.
doing navigation,
No,
you
no,
don't have a
no, no, no,
tool to
no, no, no,
measure
no,
it.
no. It's measured.
Not in navigation, no.
Right, you
don't have
don't
a
think
tool
it's
to measure
measured.
azimuths when you're doing
Why is
navigation.
it defined that way then?
Well, it can't be measured.
Why
That's
is it
not what's done in
specifically
navigation.
defined that way was my question.
That's usually how angles are defined.
It's an
as a
angle.
measurement. Yeah,
Yeah, that you measure.
angles are usually
Okay,
defined
where'd you
as a
get it?
measurement.
Okay, if it's only calculated, where'd you calculate it from?
From the side reduction tables.
But you calculate something for navigation on the surface of Earth with site reduction tables? Or is it just an angle measurement? It's an angle measurement. I've already told you. Why are you lying?
Well, you don't measure them when you're doing navigation. There's no tool to measure azimuths when you're doing navigation. You have to
Azimuth
calculate them.
angle is a flat Earth angle. Fact.
Sure.
What
But
do you mean,
it's not
sure?
something
So
that is
sit
being
down,
measured.
shut up. It's not proving a globe. It's proving we're measuring a flat Earth then,
I
isn't it,
didn't
you
say
stupid
that.
man?
I never said it proves the globe.
It proves
My
a flat
point is that
Earth.
it does-
Yeah, no, I'm telling you, it proves a flat Earth because that's how it must be acquired. That's what it is.
But the values don't match a plane.
So it don't match a plane when you're measuring it off a plane. Shut up and sit down. I'm done with you. Shut up.
Well, take a look at the map.
Shut up. That means stop talking. You've lied to my audience and told them it's a
Why didn't you,
calculation. Then it's not a
was I
measurement
told
because
here
I
then?
say it is. Now you're rumpusing me. You told them it was a calculation. I pointed out unequivocally it's a measurement. You said no. Then, after I corrected you, said it could be both. You're a disingenuous scumbag liar, and I don't want to talk to you anymore. When you tell me no, it's not a
Why
measurement,
was I
then
calling
and then rumpus me. How dare you, you scumbag, bull-believing coward. You think you're going to rumpus the fact that I point out that you've lied? No, it's not a calculation, it's a measurement.
Not in navigation. You don't have a
So
tool
what are we
to measure
navigating? Are we
azimuth in
navigating
navigation.
site reduction tables or the ground?
You're navigating the ground, but you're not measuring azimuths when you're in the middle of the ocean. There's no tool for that. If you think the
It's
azimuth
an
is being
angle!
measured, and you
There's no
haven't
tool for
looked into the
measuring
process-
angles. Yeah, there is.
Azimuths? Which tool it is? Which tool that is?
But there's plenty of angle measuring tools. You're having me on. I'm not going to take this crappy segue. You lied. You told my audience it was a calculation. When I said it was a measurement, you said no. Then when I pointed out that it was by definition, you said it can be both, making you a disingenuous scumbag liar.
All right.
Yes, I get lost. I don't like dealing with you assholes. Sick of it. These bastard liars. I'm tired of it. Very sick, and I don't want to hear it. I am tired of being lied to by ball believers. I'm sick of it. Hello, Adam.
He left. He always leaves.
Of course, the moment we catch him out on his lies. They all do it. You've got to lie to be a globe believer.
Yep.
Mm.
Go ahead, Steve.
Oh, I just, sorry. The Haversign signal was, or sign, that's where he was trying to BS us yesterday. And that's what he's trying to do right now, too. But anyway, I just wanted to mention that because he'll be back with that. He's not going anywhere.
Well, we did cover it before he entered, which is to say the Haversign formula converts to curving. Well, if you're measuring it curving, you don't need to convert it to a curved surface, do you?
No, exactly. Yeah. So, yeah, exactly.
But because I've got a conversion to curved, flat Earth doesn't work with my conversion to curved from a flat Earth measurement. Shocking.
But yeah, I was just going to, I was going to try and help you out just, because of the show today. But anyway, yeah, it worked out good.
They don't like it. They don't like that the measurements of these angles have to be taking place on a flat Earth. There's no other way to do it. See McToon's challenge for his elevation angle measurements that he lays down to claim that he can't be using these on a sphere Earth surface that's been converted to flat. Yeah, shocking. But the measurements themselves come from a flat plane, don't they? So Earth's measured flat. That's it. That's the end of the discussion. It's the end of the debate. Earth is flat. No amount of lying about whether or not you take angles from the surface to navigate the surface. No, they're from site reduction angles, those calculated angles. Sorry, who's ever heard of a calculated angle? What the bloody hell are you talking about? We measure them. We're measuring the ground. That's what we're doing. We're navigating the ground with these methodologies, all of which require Earth to be flat. There is no exception. Bullshitting us about how you convert it to curved to tell us how it doesn't work flat once you've converted it with Haversign is pathetic and deceitful. These people are scum. They've got to lie. And when I say no, it's an angle measurement. Oh, well, it's not. No, definitely not. What about when I define it as one? Oh, well, then it could be both. Deceitful scumbag, ball-believing arseholes. I wouldn't normally get this angry. I'm just very poorly. I do hate being lied to.
There's a good side,
Go ahead.
and that is we don't lie. That's kindness.
Everybody lies. There are no exceptions to that statement. Everybody lies. But how you choose to do it, to weasel in your faith, is so egregious to me. Like, you've got to get one over on us, slip by the flat Earth measurement that you're using to prove your globe. You've got to slip that by us, have you? It's pathetic. No, you're not going to slip it by us. And when we catch you, you start rumpusing and denying. Oh, well, it could be a measurement and a calculation. You scum. All of these people are scum. We haven't said hello from Adam yet. Hopefully we can find out if his mic works. Hello, Adam. Hello, Adam. Fair enough. Let's do another housekeeping question, because I've not got a video to line up until Brian gets here. Evidence you can have gas pressure without a container?
Negative. There must be containment to even have any sort of pressure. So if you're going to claim gradient, you're not having any gradients unless you have containment.
Well, I listened to Whitsitt fail miserably yesterday on QE's critique of him. And although it wasn't a full-blown treatment, it was, them having a bit of a laugh at his expense while he was doing a poor job. Whitsitt, that is. But as soon as it came to the ether argument, he was more than happy to relinquish his decent arguments to weasel in a very fast-talking way, his ether belief. And it was quite sad, in a way, because up until that point, he'd got nothing but praise from all of the panel, including Adam. That's why I was trying to drag him into this conversation. which it did really well until it came to ether.
Yeah, once it starts down that ether trail, everything he says goes out the window. He just ruined everything because he's got this ether to push.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's his bag. He wants to sell this idea of his belief in this sky vacuum replacement. Fine, but it just seems sad when you've got a winning streak and you're doing really well and you're pummeling your dumb opponent who's big-headed and thinks he's really amazing. And then suddenly you leave the door open for the audience to say, nah, this flat earther's a crazy nutter with this invalidated garbage about ether.
Yeah,
Just a
that's why I
shame.
always say, what's it's the best of the flat earthers out there debating who is an Ethereum. He's top notch. He just needs to rethink that position.
Everything else he does is from a position of being able to prove his stance, except that, which is a real shame. Anyway, how are you, John?
All right, I seen you were feeling bad in Skype. You all right?
Yeah, the more I get angry with bacon, the more my headache comes on. So it's just one of those. Smash the super chat, share this channel, all that sort of good stuff. Well, evidence.
Are we live?
Go on, say again.
You're live right now?
Yeah, I went live an hour early because I didn't know how much energy I could muster up to do the show at 2:00. So I thought if I start an hour early, by the time I'm completely drained, at least we'll have got a live show under our belt. So yeah, hence we're live an hour early. But for the Americans, we're not, right? Because your clocks have changed.
No, Nathan. Now we're used to you starting a pre-show around 8:15, 8:30. So no, we're early now.
But yeah, matter of fact, for UK time, we're an hour early. So it doesn't matter which way you dice it, we're an hour early. That's okay.
Yeah, right now it's at the right time for the live stream.
No, it's 40 minutes early.
No, like right now, you normally start at 9 o'clock live,
Yeah,
and
your
for us it's
time.
9 o'clock and you're live.
Yeah, your time.
Yes, my time.
Yes. My time, I'm an hour
Hold
early.
on a second, Righteous. How are you 9 o'clock? Oh, I'm on Central Time. Right, correct. I got you.
Do you reckon we'll continue going through the Sleeping Warrior video, or has Brian's point been satisfactorily made thus far, do you think?
I don't know. Brian wants to keep going with that. If you do it without him here, he's going to be upset.
Well, he's not here. And Vlad's,
So
given,
Let me
Nathan, while
send
we
him a
still at the
message.
Vlad's given us something to cover.
while we still at elevation angles, can you just check out the short clip in Master B, Jesse Path of Light, talking about the two curves at two right angles? It's a super short clip,
Is this
but I think it's
two curves at two right angles is what I've just brought up? Is that what you want?
yep.
Okay.
Just real quick.
Yeah.
If we measure drop over distance going away from us and then right to left curve, that's two curves at two right angles. So that pretty much tells us that it's a spherical surface to me. But if we measure drop...
Oh my god. Very good.
Can you just believe what he said?
Yeah, drop from... Go on, John.
What is it dropping from, sir?
The horizontal.
Is it? Huh? So it's not a drop from level. Your level's not changing. It's a horizontal.
Yeah, the drop must be described from horizontal.
Well, then it can't be described from a sphere. It has to be described from a plane of reference.
Right. Their level curve won't give them a reference to have the description come true from. That is to say, you can't describe a deviation from horizontal if your level is curving on a sphere Earth, running parallel to gravity in the centre of a sphere Earth. Then you don't have a level to describe a deviation from it. Hey, Chocolate.
Morning, guys.
Morning. The guy who wrote your cartoony things that you like died. Did you know?
I'm assuming Akira Toriyama, creator of Dragon Ball.
Yeah, he died.
Yeah, I know.
Very sad. I had a quick look into it, and from what I understand, people of a slightly younger generation to me were very, very influenced by Dragon Ball Z in the same way I was probably influenced by He-Man or something similar. Thundercats, I don't know.
Yeah, man. I've been a big fan of it for 25, 30 years now. Something like that. So,
Is your mic under a lapel or something? You're really muffled.
I'm on my Bluetooth. My wired headphones broke, so
I know worries.
this is what I got.
Yeah, fair enough.
Sorry.
I mean, what is the state of play with Earth Curve now? Are the fundies just denying it, as in nobody's claiming the horizon is Earth Curve? Is that where we're still at, or have they started to rinse and repeat? Earth Curve gets in the way of boats and buildings like they typically do over these cycles.
Last I heard, it was inappropriate to even think about measuring the curve of the Earth. So I don't know what's going on with that.
We'll have to get a list together. It's inappropriate to measure the curve of the Earth. It's so big, it's flat. Yeah, we measure it flat, but that doesn't mean it is. Things like that. We'll have to get a list together. Nobody's claiming the horizon is Earth curve. Does that slip into the same... Not quite in the same category. It's debunking Earth curve as a claim that they would make in the first instance when we show them the black swan. Whereas this is their confessions that they do actually measure it flat. And our globe Earth opponents are more keen to disclaim that with a apology for why it isn't being measured curve after the fact. So, for example, yeah, it's being measured flat, but that's because it's so big. Yeah, we're getting an angle off a flat plane, but that's because it's so big. Who thought we'd get to this place? I know some of us have been here 8, 9, 10 years. Who thought we'd get to the point where we were telling people that it's measured flat, with the only resistance being from our own side, who think it's too good to be true?
I didn't think we'd get to a point where the same people claiming the horizon's Earth curve would claim that nobody claims the horizon's Earth curve. So forget some of those that some of them that it's measured flat. I didn't think we'd ever get to this point.
Well, it's one thing for an opponent to deny their claim. It's another thing for your allies to deny your opponent's concession.
What do you mean, deny their concession that nobody's claiming the horizon's Earth curve?
No, it's measured flat. Ballers are like, yeah, of course it is. And flat earthers are like, no, you can't say that.
They can say it and they have to say it. But some of the people that are critiquing us, I see it as friendly fire in the respect that if the ballers aren't going to keep us sharp and they're the ones telling us, yes, of course it's measured flat, it doesn't mean it is. Well, then we're going to have critique from somewhere to refine this argument. I'm glad it's come from internal people that are on our side, because that makes it a much more friendly discussion. I've had that discussion 9 times and it's still been perfectly amiable every single time. The conclusion's been the same each time as well, which is good.
Well, the thing is, it's part of their rhetoric, you know, like it's as ingrained into their rhetoric of heliocentrism as anything. They need it to be flat more than we do in their rhetoric.
Yeah.
Because we don't need anything. We're just like, hey, look, Earth's flat. Look, it's measured flat. Great. That's wonderful. Let's continue with our day. We don't need anything. They have something they have to defend, which means they need something.
Exactly. They've got a starting point and it's measuring Earth flat. We don't necessarily have any starting point because we're not necessarily putting any particular claims forward that need a flat Earth to then be wrangled into a sphere to claim them. You know, stating what is, as a matter of fact, is far easier than claiming that you measure it flat and then convert it to spherical, and the conversion to spherical doesn't work on a flat Earth. That's their shtick at the moment. That's all they've got. We had it earlier from Bacon. Why do they lie? He's also labelled himself Bacon the Flat Earther. So he's not. He's a liar. He's not a flat earther. He's lying. He wants to deceive an audience and us into ball belief based on how flat Earth doesn't work after converting flat measurements to a sphere. That's what he wants to do. You're like, what? Why? Given that you've named yourself a flat earther, why wouldn't you accept it as fact rather than deny it and claim it's calculations? Why? I don't get it.
Maybe
Because
it's
he's a
more
liar.
fun. Maybe it's more fun for some people that the conversation just continues as it was, as opposed to progressing. Right?
Well, it'd be far better if we just
Maybe
continued with them being able to use flat Earth elevation angle measurements and azimuth angle measurements and various other measurements off a flat plane to make their sphere claim, and we just accepted it. It would be far easier if we just accepted that Toon's challenge that requires a flat Earth to be measured for the angles he gives in his challenge didn't actually use those flat Earth angles, and you can just ignore those because he's already got the numbers. It would be much easier for them if that was the case. Is that what you're saying, Chocolate?
Yeah, of course. It would just be easier for them, for us to just sit here and stop having the conversation at all, right? But that's not going to happen. So what do?
Hey,
Got to
Eli.
work with what they got.
Oh, sorry, Chocolate. Hey, Eli.
Now
Can you
you're
hear
good,
us?
guys.
Oh, I keep stepping all over you, Chocolate. I thought you were done. My bad. Because you're muffly. You there, Eli? No, he's dropped. There he is.
Could this be one of the things like it's so simple and it seems so good to be true that,
Yeah.
you know, like people are just afraid of it because of that?
Yeah. There's a reason we've got to be suppressed to the bottom of the lists. How do you think this would sound in a year from now when we haven't got any of our own side saying, really? Just measured flat? Yeah, in all instances, yeah. When they're all saying the same thing, which they will be, about a year from now when they've got over the shock of Earth's measured flat. Once they've got over the shock, everyone's saying it, you're going to have to suppress that. You can't have the general public hearing that Earth's measured flat to make a sphere claim. Nobody wants to hear that. They want to live in ignorance of their sphere that is measured spherical, and it isn't.
Yeah, but Nathan, guys like Bacon are very dangerous to people that are not so informed because he could do that little trick that he does and have them convinced, oh, yeah, you're right. It doesn't match in a flat Earth, but it seems to match on a sphere. So he's a dangerous liar.
A sphere that came from where again?
Bacon. Guy called Bacon in Discord.
Oh, we covered that all the measurements come from a flat Earth, and that's why he's dangerous, because he concedes that too. But then he turns around to say, but it doesn't match up on the flat plane, the coordinates.
That's not what he did
So
today.
there is a problem.
That's not what he did today. He didn't concede Jack. Just started rumpusing me as I cornered him, didn't he?
Yes.
I think my favorite is when they try to use the angles they measured to apply them to the height of the star. Because you could do the same thing with the rainbow. And would that invalidate the rainbow?
It wouldn't invalidate that there is a rainbow, but it would certainly invalidate your measurement to it if that's what you're inferring. 54 people watching. It's because we're an hour early. Please smash the share button if you're in the live stream chat.
How would it invalidate the measurement? Wouldn't it just invalidate the claim of the height or the use of trigonometry in that instance?
You're saying it doesn't invalidate the measurement to the rainbow. It only invalidates your inference after the measurement, correct?
Right, it invalidates the calculation you used.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Because you can still measure the angle to the rainbow, but there's no height to it. It's silly. Anybody who hears it would think that was silly. You know, there's no pot of gold at 0 degrees. That's not true. You know, we all know that.
How is that comparable to them measuring the stars to get heights, which they don't do? They try and charge us with doing it.
Right, when they charge us with doing it, right? They try to say, well, look, you can't get the actual height of the star, therefore it's not a flat plane. Or was your calculation of the height invalidated?
That calculation starts with a flat Earth measurement, even if you're going to get it wrong on a flat Earth or a sphere that you can't get angles from. Neither will give you the height of the stars. We're not claiming it.
Right.
They are. You know, if their system of navigation, which takes place on a flat Earth and then converted via haversine. Yeah?
Right, but they wouldn't say that you could calculate the internal angles of a elevation angle measurement to a rainbow. They wouldn't make that claim and get the height of the rainbow. Why do they try to put that on us?
Because there is practical applications of utilising the stars, just not for their height. So because that isn't utilised and they've got nothing else to come back at us with, you're measuring these angles off a flat Earth. Yeah, but where'd you get the height when you measure these angles that we also measure on a flat Earth? Where'd you get the height? It's like, we don't make a claim of height. You do, and it doesn't match.
Right, but let me try to rethink how I say this.
Yeah, they're projecting out their stars when they do it with angles they can't acquire. Infinitely. The distance is infinite. Not their claimed distance based on our value assumptions and Venus transits. That's not the values that they have to use. They use infinite distances when they're actually practically applying them to anything. Beyond predictions. And by predictions, I mean pattern recognition. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay,
I don't know why they charge us with it. It's because they've got nothing else, I assume.
I got it. Their straw man that they put on us is invalidated by a rainbow. That's what I would say.
Other than there's no practical applied principle you can use the rainbow for.
Well, no, it's just the straw man, just strictly to deal with the straw man of getting the height of the star. A rainbow debunks their straw man.
Yeah, I'd agree. Hello, Brian. Brian?
Hey Nathan, how are things? Sorry, I'm a bit of background noise, yeah.
Oh, I'm feeling awful.
Irish.
Other than that, things are good. Go ahead, whoever that was. That's someone from Discord. Go ahead, whoever it was. No, clearly not.
Uh,
Or was it you, Chocolate? Go ahead.
That was me saying hello to my fellow Irishmen.
Chocolate, how are things, bud? You said
All right,
fellow
buddy.
Irishman? Did you find out you have Irish in your own genealogy?
But man, like, you know, it's 2024. I could be Irish if I just think about it, right?
I too
If that's
identify
how
as
you
Irish.
identify.
Sorry, Brian, go ahead.
Just saying, if that's how he identifies, then everyone must accept it.
I'm glad we got that out of the way. I identify as a transgender black lesbian. And you must all accept that.
We do.
Wait,
We have for a long time.
Wait, it is Thursday, right? No, maybe not. Tomorrow.
Chocolate, well, you're there. Did you see all that stuff going on in Haiti? Have you any relatives involved in that over there?
Not so much, no.
It's mayhem in Haiti. Absolute mayhem in Haiti.
What's going on there?
Oh,
That's nothing,
crazy,
man. That's just what we call that over here Wednesday. It's bad over there, bro. Always.
Local gangs have taken over the country, basically.
Sorry, that was me queuing up a video. I'm really sorry.
Oh, sorry. I thought it was someone coming in from Discord. Yeah. It's Just asking, just in case your relatives. I know you have an uncle at least there and stuff, and just in case you had any relatives that were involved or were in trouble over there. Like, if you know what I mean. Involved. I don't mean directly involved. I mean like in trouble, because everyone's in trouble over there now. I'd say it won't be long before some of the other Caribbean nations start sending in their military. It's getting ridiculous.
Anyone got any comment on Haiti? Okay. Well, let's move on to the video that we've been covering for the last two or 3 days at Brian's request. You remember what
just
minute?
Before you do,
Yeah.
I'm going to be driving here in the next couple of minutes. I'll be in and out as I go. But did you see my post in Master B?
I read it out at the beginning of the live show.
Oh, good. Thank you.
I also directed people to go to your community post. I go to your channel, look at your community post if you want to respond to it. So I have specifically directed people to not answer your question in my comments, but go to yours at Brian's Logic channel.
Yeah, look, even if they answer in your underneath your video for the live show, it's fine. I've given them now their radius. I'm just showing bit by bit, step by step, that they don't have any. When it comes to what their claims, spherical trigonometry, it can't be used in reality for any practical purpose. That's the whole point of it. You can mathematically create 3 arcs that intersect, but that won't have any geometry to it because it won't. The internals of that arc, the creation of the sphere, the creation of the flat plane in the center of the sphere, the creation, because that will be a circle as well, the creation of the 3 circles or 3 great circles and the arcs and all that, that'll all be geometry. But the portion that they're calling a spherical triangle, that won't be geometry. It will only adhere to the rules of geometry by pure accident. And that means it'll only adhere sometimes by accident. So that's the whole point of it. Bit by bit, just showing them all that you don't have this thing you're claiming that is claimed to be used on a regular basis. All the angles from the center, all the triangles from the center are all geometric. The circle of the center is geometric. The sphere is geometric. The 3 circles that intersect are geometric. The arcs are geometric. They can all be called geometry. But what you have going on in the center, in this where these 3 lines cross, that's not they're not even geometric. Not only are they not triangles, they're not even geometric because they're not an actual shape. It's a nothing. Just said I'd throw that out there. But anyway, thanks for covering it, Nathan. I just wanted to say that. Thank you.
Did you want me to read it out again? Because then it's part and parcel of this, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know if it's in part. I don't know. Yeah, but
let me just do it. It'll link the 2 together. Yeah. So for the ballers, using claimed spherical trigonometry and an allowed radius of 3959, please solve for the following triangle without using actual trigonometry and without changing the length of sides or given angle. So the angle and side lengths must stay equal and unchanged. Oh, it is a question. The angle and side lengths can be placed in any orientation desired. Angle 45 degrees, side A 6,000, side B 8,000. Please leave your comments, or please leave your answers in the comments section. Thank you. P.S. In reality, using actual trigonometry, and then you solve.
Yes.
Perfect.
Just wanted to add that part in at the end. But it's a question. It's a task for them to do.
Just one more thing. Yeah. I do want to direct them to your community post, though, so that it's you or more easily interacting with them. So go to, hopefully one of the mods can do this now. Please stick a link in the live stream chat if you can grab Brian's Logic's YouTube channel and just post it in the live stream chat so people can go to Brian and let him know that I sent them to him. No, I'm only joking. Just go to the community post and comment if they have an answer for him. But I see what you're doing. Slowly catch the monkey.
Yeah, because the first time I gave them 1 angle and 1 side length, and they're not allowed to use a radius, and they could do nothing with it. Yeah, I can take 1 angle and 1 side length. I don't need any radius or any circumference or diameter or anything else, and I can actually make a triangle out of it, and solve for that triangle. So now I've given them 2 angles, 2 side lengths and an angle and a radius, and they still can't do it. Because I know what it is that they're claiming to be spherical trigonometry. It's just nonsense. It's not trigonometry. This is the problem.
Is it not what I've got up on screen now?
I can't see what you've got on screen. Sorry.
Fair enough. We've got an angle from hell projected out to the celestial sphere for the star that you're measuring from hell. Notice this angle measurements coming from the center of what is effectively a protractor, and then they mark the points with the curves on the protractor on what they call the surface of Earth. But the measurement, as debated with Bacon earlier, is coming from the center of hell on your sphere. It's a flat Earth measurement on the equatorial plane inside the ball, because the ball's nothing more than a glorified protractor.
But yeah,
What's trigonometry?
The use of triangles, Neil. The celestial dome model is where their claimed spherical trigonometry comes from. And all that is, the celestial dome is based off a protractor, which is based off of the use of perspective placed into an orthographic view. It's the only way they can kind of do it, is with a protractor. So all they actually are, these claimed spherical triangles, that aren't triangles, all they actually are is derivations of perspective placed into orthographic view. So it's more just perspective hijacking, basically. You know. But anyway, look, I won't hold up any more to show whether. I just said I wanted to ask about it. That's all. Thanks for reading it out twice.
Do you remember where we got to in the video that we were covering? What the timestamp was?
I think it was 40-something minutes. 40. Whatever video you were playing it on yesterday, if you go back to in your history and you find it will be stopped at that exact point. Anyway.
Oh, okay. I just skipped it forward a minute or two, but hopefully it'll be all right.
The free expansion of gas itself is not labeled as one of the classical gas laws.
Immediately, Anthony Riley's annoying me with his making his clinking sounds.
Yeah, but Fight the Flat Earth says a lot of things that...
Oh, gross. Can I spin on?
Sure.
Well, I have spun on because I don't want to listen to Anthony Riley chewing food in his mic and clinking his cutlery.
Let's see.
Good job, Flatsoid's got a fan running in the background.
Then we'll talk about scuba tanks.
I wouldn't know it was running with these endless protracted silences.
I'd rather have Anthony chew than that guy's voice.
I think they're equally as abrasive. Please share the show. There's only 50 people watching. I know we're an hour early, but bloody hell. Man, this is going on and on and on. I'm going to have to speed it up.
I just got to quickly, while getting that citation, I have to tell Andy Worth, all gas laws, every single gas law in existence, has no gravity taken into account.
Well, actually, the free expansion of gas law states that gravity doesn't affect the molecules of gas anyway. It takes
no gravity into account. And that was even given as a force.
That's why I can give him gravity as a force, because I know that the power of the molecules is so powerful relative to the tiny force of gravity that's supposed to be that it has no effect. I don't think he realizes that when he admitted that the molecules will bounce around freely in all directions and only exert a force on the scales when they hit them in all directions. I don't think he realizes what he's admitted to there.
No, he doesn't. Please go and let not Sleeping Warrior, Flatsoid, or Flatsoid's Perspective know, at Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me. There is a link going by in the live stream chat right now. So just let him know that we've covered the video. He's already left me a comment, so he is well aware.
Definitely have not.
Well, I think you have. But if I'm wrong, I'll apologise, and then we can talk about scuba tanks.
But I would like to see that citation, though, if you don't mind. It's just
no. Because
it will be fair.
These moments.
No. This is the citation that he lied about earlier, making natural law theoretical. He hasn't got a citation for it. He's a liar. These protracted silences are this guy avoiding the question.
Before you guys go into scuba tanks, do you mind if I ask Luch a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hang on. I'm worried that if you do ask him a question, you'll take this as an opportunity not to look at the definition.
Okay.
The citation.
You know, I'll type it to you and you can ask it to him.
Oh yeah, type it to me and I'll ask him in a sec, because I want to give him every opportunity to demonstrate that his claim that the free expansion of gas law or the dual expansion of gas law is conceptual, because I've read that nowhere.
Yeah, I've searched everywhere and I can't find it.
I think he's denying science, the very thing that he thinks that I do.
Nope.
Just no. Where's the citation then? This drags on for ages. And eventually, Anthony takes it to the conclusion and calls him a liar. Rightly so.
Yeah, he would have to
What's he
be
doing,
if he claimed that he had a citation that he could give them and then doesn't give them. Yeah, that's the only conclusion you can draw, is that he lied about the citation, that one does not exist.
Yeah.
Sorry, who is this that Sleeping Warrior is debating? Who is it?
Okay, I Skyped the question to you, so when you're ready to ask him, you can ask him.
Some random baller chocolate.
Get you the link.
How did you find it? We could do it because all science has got to be repeatable, right? Just show us how you got to the citation, and we'll do it as well, and see if we can get to it too.
It's Slit said that he couldn't find a universal primer.
Universal what?
Primer. Yeah, they state they've got an answer for everything.
Universal primer. Right, type in universal primer and then give us the sentence word for word, and then it should come up on a Google search.
Yes.
Again, I'm not going to pause this just because I want you to see just
I
how
can
long they're
send
prepared
you
to
a
lie for.
photo.
No. All right, send me a photo.
All I can see is when I type in, it brings the University of Michigan up.
Yeah, no.
On the Guardian, and it's all about the ideal
Okay, I'll send a photo then. A photo should be.
Yeah,
With the link on it, so we can research it and find it and validate your citation.
that can work.
So sending them stuff, he's got them running around looking for his citation that he read off, according to him. He read it.
Well, I can send it to you on Discord.
Send it to me on Discord.
Yeah.
He read it more than one time.
Yeah, he did. Now he's saying he can send it in on Discord. Does it come?
It's good to see everybody on the YouTube land. Please hit the like, share the show. Really do appreciate you all here.
Here's the quote. So
And then when we get
He's got a Mandela effect.
Say again.
He should have claimed it's a Mandela effect. It doesn't exist anymore, but it did. It did exist, but it's a Mandela effect, and it's gone now. Citation's gone.
Yeah, this.
But it's not bringing up what you need.
It's not letting me.
Why don't you send me the link, though? You don't need to send the... What?
Yeah, I was going to, but it doesn't work. Oh, I'll tell you what. You can choose not to believe me. That's fine. I can't get you the link.
You total scumbag, glurf, liar. You can choose not to believe me if you like. No. You said it. Now you better damn well back it, you lying scum. Oh no, it's okay. Let's move on, and you can just accept. I'll accept that you don't believe me. No, we don't believe you because you're a lying scumbag, baller, glurf, and you've got to lie. You've got to make up citations, make up angles that aren't really measurements and only calculations. You've got to lie. That's the bottom line. He lied, didn't he?
Assertions made without evidence can be dismissed without evidence. It's Hitchens' razor, right? If you can't show the citation.
So you can dismiss my claim. Go ahead.
Well,
So that was a solid, 20 minutes of wasting Flat Earthers' time with a lie, with a citation he read out and then doesn't want to provide. Apparently Discord stopping him from sending it, and he'd rather be called a liar? This is the level. This is the scumbaggery of globe believers. It's absolutely outrageous. Just like bacon today. No different. Same level, same standard. Yeah, I'll happily lie to you. And when you catch me out, put me in the corner and make damn sure I back my claim that I said multiple times. We'll drag it out for ages. And eventually, when you won't let it go, I'll just say, okay, fine, just don't believe me. Like, you've just wasted a lot of our time, you scumbag.
I will allow you to dismiss my claim because I can't show the citation.
All right, but we did agree that the scales would measure a force on all directions of the container when the molecule hits it. Yeah? That in itself proves that atmospheric pressure doesn't have weight. Air doesn't have weight. It'll measure it in all directions when you put... We'll deal with scuba tanks in a minute. That's what, asking me a question.
Oh, okay, yeah. I just want to find out, do things like temperature and pressure change the direction of the gas? Or does it just change the density of the gas?
The air pressure, difference in air pressure would probably change both, wouldn't it?
Doesn't change direction. Gas only changes direction with a collision. That's what's called elastic collisions.
And not temperature?
Temperature changes the density, changes how fast the molecules are moving, but it won't change the direction.
Alright.
I think that's the key you're not catching on. That's why even if gravity was given as a force, it can't change the direction of gas.
Gravity is an acceleration.
No,
it's not.
acceleration is caused by gravity, not it is accelerating.
You're misunderstanding the cause and the effect.
What do you think A in F equals ma stands for?
Acceleration.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not gravity.
yeah, gravity. Well, that's not gravity, though, is it? Gravity's the thing that makes gravity's the thing that makes something accelerate, not the acceleration itself.
Yeah, gravity is the acceleration in that instance.
It's not.
But
So you deny Newton's first law of motion, right? Newton's first law of motion states that an object at rest will remain at rest unless acted upon by an unbalanced force. But you're saying, well, something can accelerate without it being gravity. Explain to me how that works for you, because like you think that acceleration is different to a force.
Well, no, because if F equals ma, so there you go.
But you're applying the second law of motion, which is just a sum. But you're ignoring the first. A lot of you ball earthers do this. You'll ignore the first law of motion and you'll go straight to the second law of motion. But look, the first law of motion states that an object at rest will remain at rest unless acted upon by an unbalanced force. So gravity's got to be a force for it to act on matter, because you say that the sky is being acted on by the force of gravity. It was in the definition.
Gravity creates a force.
Nah, the gas expands in all directions. This segue into what gravity does or doesn't do doesn't alter gas behavior. We've covered it. This should be drawn to a close. Go on, Chocolate.
Yeah, I heard that, Chocolate.
I love that. I love that the force of gravity is created by the force of gravity. It's beautiful retardation that I love hearing again and again.
Yeah. The downward force they call gravity, which is an extrapolation of buoyancy or weight, ignoring that things don't all go down, can be described as a force. And that force causes the force of gravity, according to them.
Yeah, but I like it when they say the force of gravity creates a force. Thank you very much. Game over.
Are they still using the word down? We got to get that out of them. I think we should beat that out of them. They can't have down.
What is it supposed to be? In and out, right, John?
Yeah, they're supposed to believe things fall in. Yeah, not down. Down's relative to a horizontal plane, not a sphere.
No, you can't have something creating it. No, it doesn't. Your Newtonian gravitation that you insist, right? We're giving you Newtonian gravitation, but Newtonian gravitation doesn't cause a force. It is a force.
F equals ma. Therefore,
no. Newton's first law of motion. Newton's first law of motion. An object at rest will remain at rest unless acted upon by an unbalanced force. So, if we see something accelerating, it needs a force to do it, not a sum, a force. Newton's first law doesn't say that you can accelerate mass with a calculation.
It says that if you have an acceleration and you have a mass, you have a force.
Correct.
Yeah, John.
I was going to say, but all of Newton's laws were wrong. So, I mean, even if this guy was able to pull something out, he's still wrong.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
The entire discussion's moot. Gas fills space, that's it. End of argument. Describe what gravity does all you like. Will it alter that gas fills space? Sky vacuum debunked? No, other than being able to have a 4-hour discussion with Anthony about it. Hope you feel better soon, Nathan, and shout out to everyone on Discord and YouTube. Thank you very much, Vlad, for the super chat. Did you want to play?
Thanks, Vlad.
Did you want to play that other clip? By the way, there was 2 clips that you put into Master B. Did you want me to play the other one, or was it just a repeat?
That was no, that wasn't a repeat. That was actually the follow-up to the distance drop and whatever the hell he was saying. It was just incoherent nonsense. But you can please play the second video if you can. Just incoherent nonsense.
The relationship between drop over distance and the drop in the distance matched the square of the distance. The relation.
Good stuff.
But you're saying that if you've got an acceleration, then you've got gravity.
A is just one part. You also need the mass as well.
Obviously, you need the mass.
Yeah.
If you didn't have a mass, then you wouldn't have anything.
What's mass? Anybody?
You tell me.
Accelerating,
it's
even if you-
normally used to infer weight.
Yeah.
That's what mass is normally used for. It's a way of avoid. Mass is the great buoyancy avoider.
You need the mass.
Yeah, that's
right.
it.
But you're getting the cause and the effect mixed up, because you're saying that gravity is not a cause of the acceleration. You're saying that gravity is the acceleration because gravity causes a force and some other force does it.
But if you have those two things, you have a force.
Yeah, but gravity is the force that accelerates the mass in your model, not in real world, in your concept.
Gravity. So why can't gravity be the acceleration?
Because that was
This would
superseded in
be-
19.
Go on, Brian.
Sorry, this would be a cause and effect claim, would it not?
Yes.
Like, I'd have to find out. I'd be more interested in finding out there now. I would have rather have Anthony asked him. So, what is it you're claiming is the cause of this object falling? Do you know what I mean? And then go through the scientific method with him. Do you know what I mean? Even though he won't be him and whoever, even though, excuse me, he'll try and confuse the matters and take all day. It would be good for the audience to see, or to hear. Sorry, to hear him just not being able to deal with what like the actual science. You know, showing that, like, with all this nonsense he's gone on with, there's absolutely no science for any of it. You know, yet he looks to say that flat earthers don't know what science is, and you know, the usual rubbish.
Uh, 19, and it goes beyond that. But we're stopping at 1915 at the moment. We're going to give you Newtonian gravitation. But if we're going to give it you, you've got to apply it the way that Newtonian gravitation applies it. And Newtonian gravitation, it relies on the first law of motion, which states that an object at rest will remain at rest unless acted upon by an unbalanced force. And then if you want to, you can calculate the acceleration or the force by doing F equals ma. But you've got to have someone doing it in the first place. You can't say gravity creates itself or gravity creates a force, because the force is supposed to be gravity. If you haven't got a force of gravity, then you haven't got any mass accelerating.
Then we'll use Einstein's then.
No. We're not using Einstein's. You're not up to speed with that. You guys insist that Newtonian gravity. If we were going to use Einstein's, it's way beyond your abilities, right? But Einstein's isn't even an acceleration. It's an apparent acceleration that we perceive, but it's not actually an acceleration. It's caused by the warping of the medium between you and the thing when viewed from trillions of miles away. So it definitely doesn't apply in this situation. You've got to have huge distances for Einstein's for it to even be perceived. But we don't have that on anything on Earth. But let's stick with Newtonian, because we're giving you Newtonian gravitation. Shut up. We're giving you Newtonian gravitation for the purposes of this demonstration or this misunderstanding that you've got. But you're saying that gravity creates a force. It doesn't. Newtonian gravitation gravity is the force that accelerates mass. So we have the force of gravity accelerating mass. F equals ma is the calculation, but you need the force in the first place.
It's not F equals m times g. It's F.
Okay, we're going to have to catch up with this at a later date, because I'm feeling absolutely awful. But I am going to say, first and foremost, a huge, massive, enormous thank you to both Discord and G+ panels for making today's live show possible. If you are watching on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley premiering streams, then stay tuned, as there will be an after show.
Something from the azimuth.
So is he claiming a triangle? Yes or no?
Yes, he's claiming he's taking 3 points on the Earth, and when he tries to, it doesn't come out to 180 degrees on the surface. So it's not matching the flat Earth, but it's matching the spherical Earth.
Right, now that's impossible what he's saying, because even surveyors don't do that. Nobody does it. Nobody does what he's saying. What he's saying he's doing is not done by anyone. Do you know what I mean? It's complete and utter nonsense.
Well, Brian, because he does the thing that nobody does, and him doing the thing that nobody does doesn't work, proves his point.
Yeah, it's like he takes 3 points, and where did he go to get these 3 points? What did he do to measure? Like, he's claiming a measurement. What is he using for this measurement? What projection is he using, etc.?
He has it drawn out on paper. He does it with these guys on Discord all the time, and they keep handing him his ass, but he keeps respawning and coming back, claiming it's not matching on Flat Earth. And I'm Flat Earther now. I'm trying to get it to match, but it just doesn't.
But he's not. He's not a flat earther.
Oh, I know he's not.
He's just a lawyer. That's what he is. That's an old trick, Neil. I've heard that a million times before. Well, maybe not a million, but a lot of times. These people claiming to be something that they're not, and then saying, I just can't make it work on a flat plane that I claim to believe in.
Yeah, I think he was talking about this. He said something about spherical axis.
That's funny, because I could have brought him straight through how that is claimed to exist, and that starts off as an actual triangle. So he doesn't. He's just a lawyer. That's all he is. You see the way he said, it's nothing to do with surveying, according to what you're saying. He said, it's not to do with surveying. That means he's telling lies. He doesn't want anybody to mention surveying because he knows he'll get taken apart.
Well, I remembered the other day you were talking about that and that with the other guy and said surveyors don't do that. So I thought that's what he was doing. But he's kind of hip and up to it because he said, no, I'm not talking about that surveying thing, talking about something else.
That's the only place that any of this claimed spherical excess stuff is ever turned up in surveying. It's in surveying. Unless you're using spherical trigonometry, which is a joke, you know what I mean? Unless you're trying to use that with intellectual navigation, you'll then end up with spherical excess again. That means you're ending up with an area within those 3 lines that doesn't exist. And 3 lines that are not a triangle, sorry, because they don't add up to 180 degrees.
That whole spherical trigonometry thing, that's why I asked you, what's trigonometry before? So you gave me the definition of trigonometry. So what's this spherical trigonometry? It don't make any sense. It sounds like a contradiction to me.
It's a joke is what it is. It doesn't exist. This is what I've been trying to hold him the task on for the past few days and previous times in the past. It doesn't exist in reality, as in it's not usable or measurable in reality. It's only something you can calculate after you've taken real world measurements. Then you can calculate it. Until then, though, you can't do anything. If you understand what I mean. So I'm in the shop here, so you're going to hear a bit of background noise. But you have to, it's an after effect. You have to pre-assume, you must pre-assume that you're on a spherical surface after you've measured an actual triangle. And you place that actual measured triangle onto that spherical surface of radius, whatever you want to call it. Obviously, they're going to use 3959.
Oh, it's all imagination stuff. Okay.
That's all it is. It's just after calculation. That's all it is. It's calculations that are done afterwards. You can do them if you want. You know what I mean? That's how they convert a lot of things. They convert a lot of stuff to sphere. You know what I mean? All the time. And then they'd say, see, it's a globe, but it's like, it's not. All the measurements were flat plane measurements, but you then convert them. And spherical excess is one of the issues they have when they do convert it, because they end up, when they're using triangles, they end up in a situation where, for to place that triangle on a convex surface, they end up with an area in the center of the triangle that is doesn't exist in reality. And the original measurements are all changed because the angles they originally started with, have now increased. And so now they have 3 lines, 3 crossing lines, 3 crossing arcs, where the internal angles of them are greater than 180 degrees. So they have 3 curved lines, so that's not a triangle, meeting at 3 points, and those 3 points equal more than 180 degrees. The sum of those 3 points equal more than 180 degrees. So that means it's a not. Like, this is my questions yesterday, or the past few days, my questions to them. So based around them, you know, proving their claims. I'm trying to give them real world instances where they can use their spherical trigonometry and prove it, and they can't. Why can't they? Because it doesn't exist in 3D reality. It can only be calculated afterwards.
Okay, Brian. We can also say so if you're on the sea and as the captain, I could say nobody is using anything like that. So spherical geometry is not used. So why are we talking about something that nobody is using? That's also a point.
Exactly, Johnny. This is the thing. They want to claim that every sailor and everybody who's at sea is using this that's navigating the sea is using spherical trigonometry, but they're not. They can use it if they want to somehow afterwards, but it's like an extra thing that you wouldn't want to do. You have enough stuff to do. Why would you want to do that then as well afterwards when it's unnecessary?
Yeah, and that is a very that's a great point to tell everybody about, because what are we using in real life? What is this technology are we using, and how do we understand how it is? How are you teach to do things? Nobody is teaching anybody that's trying to learn to navigate on the sea about the spherical geometry at all. It has nothing to do with it. It's about straight lines and elevation line and 90 degrees. Very, very simple straight line forward. Nothing about nothing else. And nobody's talking
Yeah.
about any curvature. So
Yeah, when you did it yourself. You worked on a fishing vessel, and you had to use navigation and sextant and all that, and you never added in any of these things they're claiming that I get added in.
exactly. So if it was real, then it was absolutely will be a very, very, very important point to learn. But it isn't important because it's a nonsense and nobody is using it. It's just like I say, I take a globe with me in the bridge, of the boat. Nobody is using it.
Yeah.
We are using a chart that's from flat straight lines that we are drawing, and these lines came from the elevation angle to the star or the sun or the moon or whatsoever. And if we are using nobody's using this anymore. Everybody's using the GPS and system and low-run system. So and we have changed to low-run, E-low-run, and so on. And E-low-run has been used for GPS. So if E-low-run is working for the GPS, then then we know there's a coordinate system that's using straight lines. So if it is working that way, what do you think? We need satellites or something to do it. It's just craziness. There's no need for it, and that's the reality.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and they're even starting to use E-low-ran again on the US Navy ships and stuff. They're starting to go back to the E-low-ran system. So if GPS, if everything was so sorted, and why would they need to go back to systems, Because like they want us to believe that all this stuff happens that doesn't happen. So you know your man Proto, know that guy, Johnny?
What? Say it again.
You know your man Proto Tad, know that guy? He's on Discord and stuff.
The prototype. The prototype
for you know that guy Proto Tad? I mean the shop he can't get him, I think.
Yeah, but that we are using is a software. The E-low-run we are using now is a combination of all the technical use that we can, and a software program and so on and so on. In the beginning, it was the C-low-run, and C-low-run is much more for cell towers and so on. It's very, very simple from cell tower to cell tower. But E-low-run is that you get in the air traffic and you're getting in from high altitude platform station signals. It's all over the place. It's a network, and a software program. And the program I know, it was, and it's a Baylor software program that's for long distance waiting, and then connected to the air traffic network. So it's a lot of things that you have to take in. But it is not about any satellites, because nobody want to use any satellites. Just say a satellite is real, just for thought. It's not practical, and you cannot upgrade anything that you let in so-called orbit. That's impossible.
I seen a satellite. What are you talking about?
You might see something that's moving above you, because if you say you can see satellites,
My son
then
showed me. No, my son showed me through the binoculars a satellite.
Yeah, that's impossible, because you cannot see anything so far away. that is so small. It's impossible.
Maybe it was the Satelloon. Maybe it was the ones on the balloons. I don't know.
Now we are talking, and that's possible
Wait,
because
hold
that can be in a
Wait.
very, very different attitude.
Wait,
Are we
hold on.
talking about the satellites that were put into orbit using orbital mechanics that requires Earth to be a flat plane of reference? Those satellites?
Yeah, maybe. Is that they are talking about? First of all, is orbit a circle? Yes, maybe that's the problem. They can change it with math. It is orbit, but of course it isn't. But it might be circling. But circling is not the same as orbit. I'm right about that. Is that?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, okay. Then nobody can say anything. So it's about circular.
Yeah, an orbit is a claimed falling situation where something is falling around a spherical object, which is ridiculous. You know, but
Hey, when you fall, do you fall down or do you fall around?
That's never happened.
downward
Not so
normally.
I know. It's absolutely crazy if you think about it. All with the same distance from the Earth, and because of something, and it's going around and up. And we have a acceleration, and this acceleration, if it is going in orbit, it will never work. There's so many things that you can point out. It's just laughable. So it's wrong. Of course, it's wrong.
Hey, my wife seen a UFO yesterday.
Yeah, maybe she sees saw some light moving through the sky.
Yeah. Yeah, she described it as a vertical hula hoop or ring of lights. Or it seemed to be a ring of lights. Where, like, if it were a hula hoop, it would be facing towards you. You wouldn't be looking at it side on. It'd be more towards you. So that the light in the center was the brightest, and then the lights to either side got dimmer.
Who cares? Everybody can say I've seen this and that. It doesn't matter. It's just what's possible, what's not possible, that we know, and what we don't know. And if someone say, "Oh, I saw something," yeah, okay, then you have to be able to give us a video or something.
Yeah, how does that prove Earth is a sphere? Because you're seeing something in the sky.
It doesn't. It proves that it's an unidentified flying object. The moment I try to identify it, I would be wrong.
I don't think
There's a lot
I
of
don't think UFO. Hold on, Johnny. I don't think UFO is a terminology anymore. I think it's I think it's something different. They're not called UFOs anymore.
Oh, the unidentified aerial phenomenon, UAP, it's still unidentified.
Yeah, I think that's what they call it now. What you just said.
Yeah, we still don't know what it is, but she's seen it. She was with her friend, and they both like freaked out and called me, of course, because I'm the flat earther, and I needed to know.
Sure,
It's a lot of things that I just don't understand. There's so many technology that can hold object circling above us. Yeah, you can have a solar plane that can stay in there over a year, long time. And you can have drones, you can have this and that, you can have balloons, and you have some technology that we don't know about. It can be whatsoever. But
Johnny, when I was upstate, you wouldn't believe the amount of stuff I saw in the sky.
yeah, and the sky is absolutely. Everybody is going straight in a straight line, and you are flying. If you are on an airplane, you are flying from point to point, and you have to be 3 degrees lift to hold the lift of the airplane all the way, and the plane. Everybody is telling us that, and over long distance. And the hold is 3-degree nose up and flying straight. So what's the question? Then you cannot do that over so long distance if you are flying around the ball. What's wrong with people?
Was that 3 degrees from level flight?
Yeah, the nose have to be at 3 degrees, just a little bit up to hold the thrust under the wings, the lift, so it can fly.
Right, but 3 degrees above level is what.
Above horizontal, yeah.
Yes,
Well, they would measure it with the level, right?
But they are flying straight, but just the nose is just a little bit up, but they're flying straight with the nose up. 3 degrees. You know, and they are doing that over long distance. And therefore, and then the global say, yeah, it's because the airplane is and the gravity is holding, and the pressure is holding it above the Earth. It's just crazy. It's nonsense. Of course, it's nonsense.
Right, but with the level thing, if they try to say level's curving, then you don't have 3 degrees above it to curve.
That's correct.
Yeah, but okay, but they're saying a lot of things, but that if you want to fly airplane and you over long distance, then you have to have 3 degrees the nose up all the time. But it's not going up; it's just the nose is flying 3 degrees and then straight and good, but straight line anyways, just to get the lift. And also that everything, if you're going around the so-called globe, then all of the stars above you have to go over your head and change angle all the time. But it's not happening in reality. You can take a time lapse and video time lapse and see that there's no change in the sky above you. Everything has to go over your head if you're flying in orbit or around. It's so obvious. And
Johnny, are you saying that there's no stars under my feet? Is that what you're telling me?
I'm saying if you look down, you cannot see the star. You have to look up. Yeah.
Profound.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Well, they claim in Australia, is underneath us, and I'd have to be looking down to see them stars. If I could tunnel right through the Earth.
And Australia say we are underneath them, so it's very, very.
Yeah, you're gonna need to flat Earth to describe antipodal positioning, though.
Oh dear.
Was that Eli? Who was that? Okay then.
That was John.
That was Johnny or John?
Johnny.
Oh, it'd be Johnny. But yeah, like
no, I have
when
nothing to say. Oh, sorry. I have nothing to
No,
say.
fair,
Go on.
fair enough. You're all to cut out. That's okay by me.
Well, I was just going to say, like that 3 degrees thing, though, like that excludes them from the conversation because they don't get 3 degrees above level, or that they can't do that, right? The moment anything to do with level flight is introduced, they're excluded from the conversation.
Yeah, I still don't feel that question I asked in the live show got answered, really. Why do people like Bacon and that other guy that we were covering today lie?
Because they're trying to keep certain people on the ball side. So if they can lie crafty enough to deceive other people, then they'll keep them in the cult.
Right. It's like a flatulation thing. They don't understand it, right? But the priests and authorities that they look up to for truth tell them it is so. And what we're telling them, they can understand and know, but they can't accept it and accept what their priests are telling them. So it puts them in a position where they either have to lie or accept the awful truth.
Is that not self-delusion? You think it's actually because they want to delude other people, Neil?
I think so, because why is Bacon doing that? He's doing that because if he could get somebody to pay attention and not know enough about it and then say, oh, yeah, you're right, it's not working on a flat plane, but it seems to be working on a sphere. You're right. Then they're back on the ball.
So you think it's to convert others?
I think so. I think it's to deceive others.
Not just to get one.
I think it's out of fear.
Do you not think he's just trying to get one over on us? If I can cleverly show you how I use a flat plane without you realizing it, I've got one over on you.
No, he knows he can't. That's why he conceded to the flat Earth measurements. He's trying to infiltrate the mind of somebody in the audience. Because remember, this discussion goes on during the day. Ex Mighty Mush, he'll tell you, he'll come back in with it again. Why?
I didn't hear him, but what I often find with the ballers is they're trying to outsmart us. They're trying to show the audience how it's like either fool the audience who may be ignorant of the topic and outsmart us at the same time, or just purely outsmart us in some way. There's like claiming gravity without claiming gravity. This kind of a thing. It's this kind of one-upmanship type of a situation, because we have to be either lawyers or stupid in their heads. We can't be correct, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, well, it's just a tactic. I forget who it was. It might have been what is his name? The guy that also did the Eratosthenes thing back in the day.
What about it?
The video about it, about the wells in Cyan. Who did
Carl
the video?
Sagan.
Carl Sagan, right? Isn't he the one that also said that it was someone that said if there's someone who believes in a flat earth, then you can't reason with them, so you have to work backwards from what they believe and get them to realize. So these guys are ultimately, they could be doing that, like, no, here, think about it this way, because we're gonna realize, oh, you're right, it is wrong. Wow, like you guys are saying. But I mean, unfortunately, it's fallacious reasoning to begin with.
Well, they're not going back far enough, because when they go back as far as they're supposed to be going back, it ends up being flat.
Yep. Yeah. Like, what reasoning or logic is there to a measurement. I don't. Why is that even part of it? I don't get
It's
it.
not. It's just a measurement.
Well, they have to go backwards then because you can't go forwards because they go forwards enough. What do they end up saying? Well, of course we measure it flat because it's so big. So yeah.
Yeah, that's what I had somebody tell me. Don't tell me I can't get an elevation angle off a curved surface. You know how big Earth is? I can get it at a point where it's flat.
It's not a thing.
That's when you say welcome to flat Earth. Nice in the back.
Yeah, I was only saying there the other day, Chocolate. I don't know if you heard it or not. I don't know if it was on the live show or the after show. This thing about people critiquing people around the FED and FED saying, welcome to flat Earth there about a year or so ago, 2 years ago. People are saying, that's so stupid to keep saying that. It's like, it's so relevant. It's so relevant right now. It's so relevant. How is it stupid when 2 years later it's unbelievably relevant? You know what I mean?
Because at the time,
It's like,
people didn't understand it, and therefore, if they can't come to a conclusion with an opponent that Earth is demonstrably flat by their own example, therefore, welcome to flat Earth, then they think it's rubbish. Well, I can't do that, therefore, it's rubbish.
yeah.
What else are you supposed to say when they're the ones leading the charge, telling us that Earth is flat?
Well, they were the whole time. We just never spotted it, did we? Earth's so big, it's just measured flat because it's so big. We'd have argued with the apologetics, wouldn't we?
You're right, Nathan. They were saying it from the beginning. We just weren't hearing it right.
Exactly.
We were focusing on other things.
We were following their apologetics.
Okay, Nathan, but maybe crazy to say, but we can say then, just for joke, yeah, but it's measured flat so far we know. And you can have it so big and have it some kind of form, but the area we're living in, that we know of, is absolutely measured flat so far we know. That's the
Why
fact.
would you add
And
that
then we don't have
caveat in
to
as
ask-
far as we know?
Well, because
why-
what you
Why not?
do,
Because
what you do know can't contradict what you don't know. So if you know you measure it flat, then it's flat.
so far we know.
There's nothing as powerful as Earth is measured flat. I'm sorry. You just want to add in as far as we know and this, that, flat. I think it's just totally in your face when you say Earth is measured flat, buddy.
The confidence
End of
thing.
story.
It's purely
But
confidence.
Neil, can you then turn around and give details of these measurements once you say it to someone? That's the problem, you see.
Well, that's the whole thing. I agree with you. You got to be able to break it down. I understand.
Can you then define what flat is and say, well, technically flat's just a description. So I'm not saying we're measuring a description, but what we actually do is this, and this. We're using horizontal plane, reference, blah, 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 blah. So you need to be able to do that. Otherwise, just saying Earth is measured flat means nothing because someone, just random person can then go, without any malice, can just go, what do you mean? And then if you can't describe or explain it, you just look silly, you know?
Well, Bumpy
Yeah,
is
well, we discussed that before. Well, thanks to you, I can break it down. But if you're going to say it, yeah, be prepared. I won't say defend it, but be
defend it.
be prepared to explain it.
No, defend it. At the point that you state that, it's
because
just...
you have-
Hold on, Johnny. At the point that you state it, it's a claim as far as the person who hears it is concerned. It's a claim you're making. Now, it isn't. It's a matter of fact. But you have to show them how it's a matter of fact. And if you can't, don't make a claim you can't back, because at that point, it is just a claim you can't back. In reality, it's the way it is, and you can show that. Go ahead, Johnny.
So how's it going to be a defensive reality?
I will give you the point now, Neil. It's because you will not be in the situation to get clarification for the infinity. You don't know the infinity endless fucking for the all possibilities. Therefore, you say, yeah, but in the realm we are living in, and that we are, it is massive flat so far we know. And then you don't have to talk about an infinity or give any other description of
Yeah, I agree.
something.
Yeah, you're suggesting that rather than appealing to some infinite plane or ice wall or something that you don't know about, that you're going to have to speculate about how flat it is. Stick to what we do know, how it's measured, and what we deal with currently, because that's something that's matter of fact and you can deal with. If you try and speculate about some infinite plane that you haven't proven, that's all that people will hold you to task on.
Also, bumpy is a description. Does that mean we can't measure the bumps?
With respect to a horizontal plane of reference, how high or low they are with respect to that 0 point. Yeah, we can, yeah. We'd need level to be level to do so, though.
Right.
Are you saying it's bumpy plane?
Yeah,
but
mountains.
Bumpy is a description. Can we not measure bumps?
Yeah.
We can measure elevation changes based off of a horizontal plane and call them bumps.
Yeah.
Describe them as bumps. We could do that.
There's that horizontal plane again. Can't get away from it.
Well, you could have bumps on a basketball.
What, reciprocal zenith angles?
No, you're trying to put this in a... Hold on a sec.
Typical, I'd start coughing as soon as there's a bit of dead air. Well done, Brian. Excellent try.
I didn't have anything to say. I was just trying to fill in a little bit of dead air.
It was just a little murmur.
How could you have nothing to say?
Go on, Johnny. Did you have something to add?
Okay. Yeah, I say, do we have a 0 point in your coffee cup?
That was, I didn't understand the word of that.
No, I don't understand either. But if you are moving your coffee cup, then and you have coffee in your coffee cup, do you have a 0 point of the coffee inside the cup, or do you have something else? It's crazy. Why do we really have to break everything down? But in reality, what's the 0 point? The 0 point is
sea level.
The point to sea level. And the sea level is that we take all the measurement from. And it's how we know how Mount Everest, how high the Mount Everest is, and so on and so on and so on. It's from the sea level. And we are using that. But in the debate, it's just hand waving that fact away. So what is the 0 point?
Yeah, very good point. Yeah, very good point.
Okay. It's obvious.
I think we've struggled on to the end of the 2-hour mark happily, so I am going to round out. So, with that, a huge, massive, enormous thank you to both Discord and G+ panels for making today's after show possible. And of course, a massive thank you to all of you in either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley premiering streams for hopefully smashing the super chat, liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, joining as a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member, and all that good stuff. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I will see you all in the next video.
What a lovely day!